Maybe you know the feeling of being blocked, being locked up in your body. And this happens when there is trauma, and trauma means something that is too much, too sudden, or too fast. It also happens when you suddenly are frightened by something. And you see my movement, like it's called, with babies, we call it the Moreau reflex. The whole body is pulled up, like the nervous system is aroused in a state of alert. And at the same time, another part of the nervous system freezes our body. And this is meant to stop the overflow of energy that was aroused. In a ship, in the lower part of the ship, there is a mechanism built in that when there is a flood, that the water comes in the ship, immediately their walls come down in the lower part of the ship, so that compartments are formed, so that the water cannot overflow the whole ship in one blow. And our body is doing the same. So when the energy is too overwhelming, we constrict in the pelvic floor, we constrict in the diaphragm, we constrict in the throat, and we constrict at the place where our arms are connected with the body. So you feel that when the pelvic floor is constricted, you feel like you are tensing up. Maybe you are pulling in your buttocks, you are tensing up the pelvic floor. And I have worked long as a medical doctor, but I have never thought about that maybe obstipation can be also a result of having too much tension for too long time in the pelvic floor. And when you feel that the diaphragm is constricted, you can feel like you cannot breathe properly anymore, because the diaphragm is meant to move. If you breathe in, the diaphragm goes down to create more space in the thorax. And when you breathe out, the diaphragm comes up again, and then the space is less here and you breathe out. But when this is constricted, you cannot do that anymore. So this affects the breathing. It gives a feeling of not having enough breath. And also it tenses up this whole area around the solar plexus. So you can feel like a ball or a tension in your stomach, and you can feel like inside the thorax, you can feel like a constriction, or a kind of cramp of the heart. And all these things don't mean that when you have those symptoms that it's you don't have to see a doctor when this lasts longer. It can also be something else, of course. And when you constrict here, you feel like you're tensing your shoulders or frozen here. And in the throat, when you constrict there, it feels like having no space here to breathe anymore, or maybe you have no voice anymore, or you feel like a globus, like a ball here that makes it difficult to swallow. So these are the feelings, and you feel all over that you are like locked up in yourself. And what the body has done, it has like in the ship with these walls, it has locked in the energy here, so that the energy will not overflow the whole body. So now the energy is locked up here between the diaphragm, the throat, and the place where your arms are attached to the thorax. And yeah, what to do when the energy is locked up here? How can you start moving again? Because this is a frozen state. So what is important is that some movement starts happening again. So I will give you several ways to bring in motion this movement. And all these ways have to be done in a slow way, because trauma, what I learn in the somatic experiencing training, that's trauma healing training of 3 years that I am following right now. And trauma is something that is a response to something that is too fast, too sudden, or too much. This is what I said before, but I repeat it. And the antidote for that is slowing down. And that's sometimes difficult when you are overexcited because of the stimulus. You tend to move fast, to do everything fast. Maybe you recognize that. But the invitation is to do everything slow, to slow down. And the first thing you can do is make a sound that the horn of a ship makes when there is a lot of fog. And this is a deep sound, and the word that you make is woo. So I will do it now 3 times. I do it for myself more times when I start using it, when I need it. So this is the sound. And then I wait and feel what is happening. Now I feel that I am breathing deeper. I feel a kind of tingling in my arms. Tingling is often a sign of relaxation. And there is some vibration started happening here in the diaphragm, started vibrating by the sound. And what I felt just now was that also my thorax here started vibrating, and I feel more space in my body now. I feel like here is more space, like my body has gone more like this. And also, there is a softer feeling here in my throat. So this starts mobilizing the diaphragm again. And then what you can do for this part that is constricted, you can feel the pressure you feel inside your thorax of this holding energy, or the pressure you feel here or you feel here. You can feel that, and then express it with your arms. And you can express it by pushing against something. So I will do it now with one hand, pushing to my arm. But for you, it's better to use both hands and push against the wall, for example. And it's not pushing like this. It's pushing in a very slow way where you stay in connection with your body. You feel muscle fiber by muscle fiber what is happening in your body when you do that. And then the push you give is the expression of what you feel here. So what you feel here or here, you translate into the movement. So I push this tension, what is pushing now inside, I push outside. I push like this. And I feel, while I'm doing that, I feel the strength in my arm, feel the strength, and I feel my arm is connected again to my body, and I feel more safe because I feel now I can do something. Here I was helpless, but here I can do something. My body notices, oh, the arms can do something. So the sense of helplessness becomes less. And this you can also do with your legs, because here also was a constriction, a block in the pelvic floor, and yeah, at the area where the legs are connected to the body, to the trunk. And then you press your feet into the floor. If you like, you can also do it standing, but you press your feet into the floor. And then at a very slow speed, you start relaxing drop by drop your feet. So you let go of this pressing the feet in the floor, millimeter by millimeter, drop by drop, in a very slow way. And at the same time, you keep sensing what is happening in the body. How does that feel for the body? What do you feel in the legs, in the rest of your body when you are doing that? And what I feel right now is the feeling that my legs become more alive and that I start feeling the connection with my legs again, the connection with the body. And this is an antidote for this pushing the energy up. So now you bring the energy down to the ground. And what you also can do is move your toes. Also, that brings the body into movement, and the movement creates that the paralysis of the body is dissolving. And this you can also do by moving the fingers. When I am with other people, I feel uncomfortable when I would start making the woo sound, for example, when I'm suddenly overwhelmed by something that happens. And I would also feel uncomfortable when I start pushing with my hands. But what I can do then is moving my toes. And I feel that moving my toes in that situation brings me back to my own body and connects me again with the place where I'm standing and with the floor, and gives me a kind of feeling of being safe within my own body. So this was what I wanted to share with you in this movie, and I hope that it will be of benefit for you in your life.